Welcome to Miss Scarlett. Subscribe and don't miss out on Patreon. Have fun! In the sweltering summer, Drew, a tall, trim man with auburn hair, sits in his bedroom, the air heavy and stifling. His bed is strewn with an array of garments, a stunning collection of floral dresses, each meticulously prepared for a special occasion. This hidden treasure has been secretly accumulating over time, tucked away behind the less visited winter coats in his closet. As he fingered his short auburn hair, Drew's reflection in the mirror introduced a moment of self-reflection. Recalling his youth, he remembered the thrill of private indulgence, something only for him, hidden behind closed doors. Speaking to his mirror image, he said, "This is the last time I will look this way." From the colorful array, he picked a pink A-line dress, feeling its fabric glide over his skin, falling gracefully around his knees. He then embarked on a meticulous transformation ritual, applying a base layer to enhance his features, a concealer to eradicate any trace of a shadow on his chin, and a final touch of mascara to emphasize his already long lashes. His fingers moved with the confidence that came from years of repetition. Finally, he reached for the auburn wig that matched his natural hair color, carefully adjusting it until it framed his face with soft waves that reached his shoulders. The person who stared back from the mirror was Chloe, the person who had lived inside Drew for decades, waiting for the chance to fully exist. "Today's the day," Chloe murmured, reaching for the white cardigan that completed her outfit. She slipped her feet into modest heels and gathered the paperwork she'd spent months compiling. Medical letters, identity documents, application forms, all neatly organized in a leather portfolio. The alarm clock showed 8:15 a.m. Her appointment at the government building was at 9:30, just enough time to get there, with a stop for coffee to calm her nerves. Outside, the world went about its Monday morning routine. A businessman hurried past with a briefcase. A mail carrier sorted envelopes while walking. A mother pushed a stroller across the street. Chloe had expected stares, whispers, maybe even confrontation, but received only a polite nod from an elderly neighbor who held the door open for her. "Thank you," she said, her voice soft and practiced in its higher register. "No problem, dear. Lovely dress," the woman replied without a second glance. The coffee shop on the corner buzzed with morning customers. Chloe joined the line, clutching her portfolio to her chest like a shield. "Next, please," called the barista. "What can I get you?" "Small latte, please." She fumbled with her wallet, still adjusting to the different arrangement of her purse compared to the wallet she'd carried for years. "Name for the order?" Chloe hesitated for only a fraction of a second. "Chloe," she answered, the name feeling right as it left her lips. "Coming right up, Chloe," the barista replied, scribbling on the cup. The government building loomed ahead, a bland concrete structure with American flags flanking the entrance. Chloe checked her watch. 20 minutes early. She found a bench outside and sipped her latte, watching people stream in and out of the revolving doors. Her phone buzzed with a text message. "Good luck today. We're all rooting for you. Dinner at my place tonight to celebrate?" Emma. Emma had been the first person Chloe told about her true self back when they were still in college. Through every step of the journey, Emma had remained steady, offering support without judgment. "Thanks. Nervous but ready. Dinner sounds perfect. We'll let you know how it goes." Chloe typed back. At precisely 9:25, she stood, smoothed her pink dress, and walked through the revolving doors. The security guard directed her to the 3rd floor, where a sign reading Identity Documentation Services pointed down a long hallway. The waiting area contained 2 other people, an elderly man with papers spread across his lap and a young woman bouncing a fussy baby on her knee. Chloe approached the reception desk, where a middle-aged woman with glasses perched on her nose looked up from her computer. "I have an appointment at 9:30. Name's..." Chloe paused, then corrected herself. "The appointment is under Drew Anderson, but I'm here to legally change my name to Chloe Anderson." The receptionist didn't bat an eye. "Of course. Please fill out these confirmation forms and have a seat. Someone will call you shortly." The forms asked for standard information: current legal name, desired name, reason for change, address, phone number. Chloe wrote gender transition in the reason field without hesitation. "Drew Anderson." A voice called from an open office door. Chloe stood, gathering her portfolio and purse. "That's me, though soon to be Chloe," she said with a nervous smile. The government worker, a woman with salt and pepper hair pulled into a tight bun, nodded briskly. "Of course. I'm Ms. Peterson. Please, come in." The office was small but neatly organized. Certificates hung on the wall behind a desk cluttered with stacks of paper and multiple computer monitors. "So, you're seeking a legal name and gender marker change. Do you have all your documentation with you today?" Ms. Peterson asked, gesturing to the portfolio. "Yes, everything should be here." Chloe handed over the leather case. Medical letters, identification, completed application forms, the court order, and the publication notice from the newspaper. Ms. Peterson began methodically reviewing each document, occasionally typing information into her computer. The process stretched into minutes, then nearly an hour. "Everything appears to be in order, Ms. Anderson," she finally said, looking up from the paperwork. "We can process this today. Your new identification documents should arrive within 3 to 4 weeks. In the meantime, I can provide temporary documentation verifying your legal name and gender change." Chloe's hands trembled slightly. "That's it? After today, I'm legally Chloe?" Ms. Peterson smiled for the first time. "Yes, that's it. The system isn't quite as intimidating as it appears from the outside, is it? If you'll just sign these final forms, we can complete the process." With each signature, Chloe felt a weight lifting. The last form required her to sign her new legal name for the first time on an official document. She picked up the pen and carefully wrote, "Chloe Anderson," in her neatest handwriting. "Congratulations, Ms. Anderson," Ms. Peterson said, handing her a set of temporary documents. "These will serve as legal identification until your permanent cards arrive." Stepping out of the government building into the late morning sunshine, Chloe felt dizzy with relief and joy. She stared at the temporary ID card in her hand, her new name printed in official text. It wasn't just her private truth anymore. It was recognized by the state, documented, and sealed. Her phone buzzed again with a message from Emma. "How did it go?" "I'm officially Chloe! Let's celebrate big tonight!" She texted back, adding a champagne bottle emoji. Emma's response came immediately. "Yes! So proud of you! I'll invite the usual crew. My place at 7. Standing on the steps of the government building, Chloe made an impulsive decision. She deserved more than just dinner to celebrate this milestone. The mall was only a few blocks away, and for the first time, she could shop for clothes as herself without pretense or secrecy. The department store was bustling with midday shoppers when Chloe walked in, heading straight for the women's section. No more furtive glances or pretending to shop for a fictional girlfriend or sister. She ran her fingers along a rack of summer dresses, pulled out a floral sundress in soft blue, and held it against herself. "That would look lovely with your coloring," said a sales associate, approaching with a friendly smile. The dressing rooms are just over there if you'd like to try it on. Thank you, I think I will, Chloe replied, gathering the dress and several others in her size. In the dressing room, she tried on each piece, admiring how they fit her frame. The blue sundress was perfect, as were a green wrap dress and a black pencil skirt with a matching blazer that would be suitable for work. With each item, she felt more comfortable in her skin, more aligned with her true self. At the register, she presented her temporary ID when the cashier asked for it to process her credit card. There was a brief moment of comparison between the card and her face, but the cashier simply smiled and continued the transaction. Would you like to sign up for our rewards program, Ms. Anderson? The cashier asked. Yes, I would, Chloe answered, feeling a thrill at being addressed correctly. Loaded with shopping bags, she headed to a salon she'd researched weeks earlier. The stylist welcomed her warmly. What are we doing today? She asked, running her fingers through Chloe's auburn wig. I'd like to discuss options for growing out my real hair, Chloe explained. This wig matches my natural color, but I'd prefer my own hair eventually. The stylist nodded understandingly. Your natural hair is short now? Very. Typical men's cuts, Chloe admitted. We can work with that. There are some great transitional styles that will help as it grows out. And in the meantime, this wig looks natural. I can trim it to better frame your face if you'd like. By the time Chloe left the salon, her wig had been expertly styled, and she had a plan for growing out her natural hair, along with product recommendations and future appointment dates. The afternoon sun was beginning to dip lower in the sky when she finally returned to her apartment, arms laden with bags. She carefully hung each new purchase in her closet, no longer hidden behind winter coats, but proudly displayed at the front. The clock showed 5:30, just enough time to shower and change before Emma's celebration dinner. She chose the new blue sundress, applied fresh makeup, and carefully repositioned her styled wig. Emma's apartment was only a short ride away. Chloe took a deep breath before knocking on the door, suddenly nervous about seeing everyone as her authentic self, even though these friends had known about her transition for months. The door swung open to reveal Emma, beaming with pride. There she is, she exclaimed, pulling Chloe into a tight hug. You look absolutely stunning. Behind Emma, a small gathering of their closest friends waited, a banner reading, Congratulations, Chloe, stretched across the living room wall. Cheers erupted as she stepped inside. Daniel, her friend since freshman year of college, approached with 2 champagne flutes.
I've been saving this bottle for a special occasion,
he said, handing her a glass.
I can't think of anything more worthy of celebration.
Chloe accepted the glass, her burgundy lipstick leaving a mark on the rim as she took a sip. The bubbly liquid tickled her throat as Daniel raised his glass.
To Chloe,
he toasted,
who has shown us all what courage really looks like.
To Chloe, the group echoed, glasses raised high. The evening unfolded with food, laughter, and reminiscing. These friends had witnessed her journey from its earliest stages, from the first tentative confession to Emma in their dorm room, to the gradual steps toward living authentically. Remember when you borrowed my dress for that Halloween party junior year? Emma asked, refilling Chloe's champagne glass. You claimed it was just for the costume, but I knew even then. Chloe laughed. Was I that obvious? Only to someone paying attention, Emma replied with a wink. You looked happier in that dress than I'd ever seen you before. As the night progressed, friends began to depart with warm hugs and congratulations. Eventually, Only Emma and Chloe remained, sitting on the balcony with the city lights twinkling below them. "So, how does it feel?" Emma asked, wrapping a light shawl around her shoulders against the evening chill. "To be officially you?" Chloe considered the question, watching her burgundy lipstick stain on the champagne glass catch the light. "It feels like I can finally exhale after holding my breath for 32 years, she said softly. "Like I've been reading from the wrong script my entire life, and someone finally handed me the correct pages." Emma nodded, her eyes glistening slightly. "I'm so happy for you, Chloe. You deserve this happiness." "I couldn't have done it without you," Chloe replied, reaching over to squeeze her friend's hand. "Your support made all the difference." "What's next for the newly official Chloe Anderson?" Emma asked, with a smile. "Tomorrow I'll email HR about updating my information at work. My supervisor already knows, but now I can make it official there too." Chloe sipped her champagne thoughtfully. "And then I just live as me. No more double life, no more hiding dresses behind winter coats. To living authentically," Emma toasted, clinking her glass against Chloe's. The next morning arrived with warm sunlight streaming through the bedroom curtains. Chloe woke slowly, momentarily disoriented by the shopping bags still scattered around her room. The events of the previous day came flooding back, bringing a smile to her face. She reached for her phone and composed a careful email to her company's human resources department, attaching scans of her temporary identification documents and requesting updates to her employee records. The response came within the hour, professional, supportive, and straightforward. They would update all systems immediately and issue a new employee ID card. Her supervisor, Marcus, called shortly after. "Chloe, I just got the notification from HR," he said when she answered. "I wanted to check if you'd like me to make an announcement to the team, or if you'd prefer to handle it your own way." "I think I'd like to just come in as myself tomorrow," she replied, after considering for a moment. "No big announcements. Those who know me well already know, and everyone else will figure it out."
"Whatever you prefer,"
Marcus assured her.
"Just know you have my full support."
The rest of the day passed in a flurry of practical matters. Updating her email signature, ordering new business cards, changing her name on various accounts and subscriptions. Each small change reinforced the reality of her new official identity. That evening, she carefully selected her outfit for the next day. The black pencil skirt and blazer she'd purchased, with a silk blouse in a deep burgundy that complemented her auburn hair. She laid everything out, along with modest heels and simple gold jewelry. Sleep proved elusive, as anxiety about facing her colleagues mingled with excitement. When her alarm finally sounded, she rose with determination, showering and dressing with careful attention to detail. Her makeup was professional but feminine, her styled wig perfectly in place. The office building looked exactly as it had on Friday, but Chloe felt as though she was entering it for the first time. She took a steadying breath before pushing through the revolving door. The security guard at the desk looked up as she approached.
"Good morning,"
he greeted, then paused, clearly trying to place her. "Good morning, Paul," Chloe said, presenting her temporary ID. "I'll need a new access card. HR should have sent down the paperwork." Recognition dawned in his eyes, followed quickly by professional composure.
"Of course, Ms. Anderson. Let me check the system."
He typed briefly on his computer.
"Yes, I have the update here. We'll get you a new card right away."
5 minutes later, with a fresh ID card clipped to her blazer, Chloe stepped into the elevator. Her department was on the 12th floor, and as the numbers climbed, so did her heart rate. The elevator doors opened to the familiar office landscape. A few early arrivers were already at their desks, coffee cups in hand. Conversations paused briefly as she walked past, but quickly resumed. At her desk, a small potted orchid waited with a card propped against it. "Welcome, Chloe. Looking forward to working with the authentic you, Marcus." The simple gesture brought unexpected tears to her eyes, which she quickly blinked away as her colleague from the neighboring cubicle approached. "Hey, Chloe," said Rebecca, as casually as if they'd been on a first-name basis for years. "The Richardson report is due at noon. Do you have the final numbers?" "I'll email them to you within the hour," Chloe replied, grateful for the normalcy of the interaction. As the office filled, reactions varied. Some colleagues seemed not to notice anything different. Others offered quiet words of support or simple smiles of acknowledgement. A few seemed uncomfortable or uncertain, but no one was openly hostile. By lunchtime, Chloe began to relax. The world hadn't stopped turning. The client calls still needed to be made, the reports still needed to be filed, and life continued. She was simply living it more honestly now. Rebecca stopped by her desk as the lunch hour approached. "A bunch of us are heading to the cafe across the street. Want to join?" Chloe hesitated only briefly before nodding. "I'd like that, thanks." The cafe was busy with the midday rush, but they found a table near the window. As conversation flowed around her, office gossip, weekend plans, complaints about the new expense report system, Chloe felt a profound sense of belonging. Not as a woman, not as a transgender person, but simply as herself, a human being sharing lunch with colleagues. Days turned into weeks, and the temporary documents were replaced by permanent ones. Her driver's license now showed her true name and gender. Her passport followed. Each official recognition built upon the last, cementing her legal identity. At the salon, her natural auburn hair began to grow out, gradually eliminating the need for the wig. The stylist helped her navigate the awkward in-between phases with trims and styling products until, after several months, her own hair brushed her shoulders in the same waves she'd once achieved artificially. One crisp fall evening, Chloe stood before her closet, preparing for a dinner with friends. The collection of clothing had expanded considerably, no longer hidden, but proudly displayed. She selected a burgundy dress that complemented her hair and applied makeup with the confidence that came from daily practice. The restaurant was upscale, with soft lighting and white tablecloths. Emma waved from a table where Daniel and his wife, along with two other couples from their friend group, were already seated. "Sorry I'm late," Chloe apologized, slipping into the empty chair. "Conference call ran long." "We just got here ourselves," Emma assured her. "You look fantastic, by the way. Is that dress new?" The conversation flowed easily through appetizers and main courses, touching on careers, relationships, and future plans. When the dessert menus arrived, Daniel cleared his throat dramatically.
"Before we move on to the chocolate portion of the evening, I have an announcement," he said, reaching for his wife's hand. "We're expecting. Baby's due in April."
Exclamations of joy erupted around the table. In the midst of hugs and congratulations, Daniel caught Chloe's eye.
"We want you to be the godmother," he said simply. "There's no one we trust more."
Emotion swelled in Chloe's chest, nearly overwhelming her. "I'd be honored," she managed to say. Later, As they were leaving the restaurant, Daniel fell into step beside her.
I meant what I said, he told her quietly, about trusting you.
The courage it took to become who you truly are. That's the kind of authenticity I want my child to witness.
Chloe felt tears threatening again.
Thank you,
she whispered. That means more than I can express.
The following weekend, Chloe found herself shopping again, this time for baby gifts. As she browsed tiny outfits and soft toys, a salesperson approached. Can I help you find something, ma'am? She asked pleasantly. I'm looking for a gift for my godchild, Chloe replied, still feeling a thrill at the title. Something special that will last. The salesperson led her to a display of keepsake items, silver rattles, engraved picture frames, handcrafted wooden toys designed to become heirlooms. Chloe selected a beautiful music box that played Brahms's Lullaby. Would you like it gift-wrapped? The salesperson asked. Yes, please, Chloe answered, then hesitated before adding, and could you include a card? I'd like to write a personal message. As the salesperson wrapped the gift in delicate paper with a satin ribbon, Chloe contemplated what to write. The blank card seemed to hold infinite possibilities. Finally, she wrote, For my precious godchild, may you always have the courage to be exactly who you are. With love, your godmother, Chloe. The words, simple as they were, represented everything she had learned through her journey. The freedom that came with authenticity was the greatest gift she could wish for any child. Life settled into a new normal. Work promotions came based on her performance, not her identity. Friendships deepened with those who had stood by her, and new connections formed with people who only knew her as Chloe. Dating presented its own challenges, but she approached relationships with honesty from the beginning, finding that the right people appreciated her forthrightness. A year after her legal transition, Chloe found herself back at the government building, this time accompanying a young woman from her support group who was beginning the same process. I'm so nervous, the woman, Tara, confessed as they waited in the lobby. What if they deny my application? They won't, Chloe assured her, remembering her own anxiety from this same spot. You have all your documentation in order. Just answer their questions honestly. How did you feel afterward? Tara asked. When it was official? Chloe considered the question. Like I could finally stop performing and start living, she said after a moment. Like the outside world finally matched my internal reality. Tara nodded, clutching her portfolio tightly. That's what I want. Just to live without the constant disconnect. Tara Reeves, called a voice from one of the offices. Tara stood, smoothing her navy dress nervously. That's me? You've got this, Chloe encouraged. I'll be right here when you're done. As Tara disappeared into the office, Chloe reflected on how far she'd come in a year. From the terrified person clutching a similar portfolio to someone who could now guide others through the process, it was a transformation more profound than any external change. When Tara emerged an hour later, her face shone with the same relief and joy Chloe remembered so well. It's done, she said, her voice trembling slightly. I'm officially Tara. Congratulations, Chloe replied, hugging her. How about we celebrate? There's a department store nearby with an excellent dress section, and I know a salon that does wonderful styling consultations. Tara's eyes widened. Really? You'd do that for me? Someone did it for me, Chloe said with a smile. It's only right to pay it forward. As they walked out of the government building together, Chloe caught a glimpse of their reflection in the glass doors. two women, heads held high, stepping confidently into the bright afternoon sunshine. In that moment, with her burgundy dress catching the light and her auburn hair moving gently in the breeze, Chloe felt a profound sense of completion. The person she had always been inside now existed fully in the world, not just in private moments, behind locked doors, or in the understanding smiles of close friends, but in every interaction, every document, every aspect of daily life. The journey had been long and often difficult, but standing there, watching another woman begin the same path to authenticity, Chloe knew with absolute certainty that every step had been worth taking. Her phone buzzed with a message from Emma. "Lunch tomorrow? I have big news." "Absolutely," Chloe typed back. "Can't wait to hear it." Life continued, as it always does, with challenges and triumphs, ordinary days and special moments. But now she moved through it as her complete self. No more hiding, no more pretending, no more divide between who she was and who the world saw. Chloe Anderson, with her burgundy lipstick and her authentic smile, stepped forward into the future that had always been waiting for her to claim it. Thanks for watching, my girlies! Be sure to check out Patreon for more!